Celebrations have been taking place in Taliban-held areas since an agreement between the U.S. and the Taliban was signed in Doha nearly a week ago. This is a big achievement for all Afghans, says the local commander. They lost, and now we have gained our freedom. For civilians caught in the middle, a welcome relief.
It's been very difficult. There were a lot of night raids. The Taliban fighters were escaping, and it's civilians who suffer. We were the victims, not the Taliban.
The message here is that the Taliban inflicted a historical defeat on the U.S. But there's another war going on, one between Afghans. At least 80 attacks have been carried out since Sunday, killing dozens of people, mainly members of the Afghan security forces. The increase in hostilities was triggered by Afghanistan's President Ashraf Ghani refusing to release up to 5,000 Taliban prisoners as guaranteed by the Doha Agreement. The Afghan government did not take part in that agreement and says this is a matter that should be negotiated during the upcoming intra-Afghan talks. The Taliban insist they must be freed before the negotiations start. They need the detainees to be freed sooner rather than later. The agreement has been criticized within the Taliban's ranks, and there are reports of fighters defecting to other groups like ISIL.
In the Doha conference, totally they are all the same, They have one theme, but inside there are differences. There are Taliban in Afghanistan, there are Taliban leadership in Pakistan, they don't agree. They go by clans and tribal systems, and also politically. There are Taliban who are trained and educated in one area. There are Taliban and groups who are educated in another area. Even that has a difference.
The group feels it's now in a position of strength. Mullah JALALUDIN SHINWARI says it has also evolved since the day he was Attorney General of the Taliban government in the 1990s.
The Taliban is definitely the winner, but before we ruled alone. That has changed. The Taliban wants to have a government that will include all ethnicities, but there are red lines. One is the withdrawal of all foreign troops and their advisors. The implementation of Islamic law is also a red line, because we paid a heavy price. But whether the country is called Islamic Emirates or not is open to negotiation.
The government wants the Taliban to disarm after agreeing on a ceasefire. But attacks are likely to continue just as they did during negotiations with the U.S., leaving Afghans paying the price once again. Hoda ABDEL-HAMID, Al Jazeera, Kabul.